Is it possible that you're being emotionally manipulated? And if so, is there anything that you can do about it? We're going to look at this topic in today's video. So sit tight, enjoy, and towards the end of this video, we're going to speak about some counter strategies as well. If you enjoy this type of content, if you're a fan of psychology, tarot, and if you like ASMR, you're going to like my content, so I recommend that you subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment. I picked the Seven of Cups to represent the topic of emotional manipulation, because I want to focus on one specific aspect of emotional manipulation that I think is often overlooked, but is a very, very important one. It's called intermittent reinforcement. And what it really means is that there are these intervals of passivity or non-rewarding behaviors from your partner, and for a long time, and then randomly, unexpectedly, they start to behave in a very positive way towards you. They reward you. And what that does, it's essentially the same dynamic as gambling addiction. The same thing happens in your brain. The truth is that when, you're probably familiar with dopamine, which is a hormone that is very strongly connected with the rewarding system in the brain. And so the thing is that you're not releasing more dopamine when the reward is received. Scientists have found that the anticipation of a reward is what really generates those warm, fuzzy, positive feelings in your brain. The period of waiting for something nice to happen, it's a lot more powerful chemically in the brain than actually receiving the reward. So this whole strategy, which in most abusive relationships, it's not a consciously applied strategy, but it's nonetheless very destructive. So the strategy is built on how addicted you can get to the idea of receiving a reward, which when you are in love, when you're in relationship, your partner's attention, their physical affection, their compliments, their love is essentially the reward that you're looking to get. And when they control that resource, when they create this sort of scarcity in the relationship, where for the most part it's impossible to get positive reinforcement out of your partner. They are dismissive, perhaps they ghost you, they don't respond to you, or they are outright abusive verbally or even physically. And then randomly, seemingly out of the blue, there's no logic, no reason behind it, but all of a sudden they start responding to you in a positive manner. So there's these spikes of reward that you start anticipating and you stay in the relationship because there's always that hope of receiving the reward eventually, and it's almost impossible to predict what you're gonna get. And just like with slot machines or playing the stock market or gambling in general, you have the same sort of mechanics behind the addiction that people experience. It's the anticipation of an unpredictable reward that creates a very strong bond. And this is why I picked the Seven of Cups here, because with the Seven of Cups, there's the obscurity, the ambiguity of outcomes. Each cup represents a different possible scenario, a different opportunity, some of which are very scary, like the dragon or the snake, some of which are simply manipulative and hollow, like the mask here, and others which are very promising, like this treasure here. And so that's pretty much it. When you notice this happening, when you notice your partner withdrawing from you and then intermittently reinforcing you, and by the way, I recommend that you look this up if you are recognizing this pattern in your relationship or even in your past relationships. The inability to foretell what your partner is going to do, that insecurity, that excitement and anxiety and nervousness that these sorts of partners generate within you, that's sort of the lethal cocktail that keeps you drunk, that keeps you interested. And in these toxic relationships, it's really hard to break free because of this very reason, because you're always expecting the good thing and you're convinced that eventually it's going to come. So let's see what you can do if you find yourself in this situation. I'm going to give the cards a little bit of a shuffle. And we're going to try and find some answers here, some pointers. But, this is a general tarot reading, so there's limitations to what this can do for you. And I recommend that if you're finding yourself in a really toxic situation like this, and you're finding that it's impossible for you to break free, I definitely recommend that you ask for help from an expert. Look into some resources in your area that can help you out, or at the very least, communicate this to a good and trusted friend, and they might be able to help you. But the best thing would be to definitely ask for help. Okay. So here's the Ten of Cups as the counter strategy. Okay. So what we have with the Ten of Cups is the power of community. In abusive relationships and emotionally manipulative scenarios, what happens very often is that the abuser, the person who you are in that sort of toxic dynamic with, they're going to try and keep you from reaching out. They will try to isolate you and control your experience to the highest degree. It is within their interest to cut you off from the world around you. Now, with the Ten of Cups, the message is really clear. If you are experiencing this, it's most important for you to reach out and make sure that you are connecting with a community, with a group, that you enjoy the embrace of a social circle of like-minded people, of open individuals, perhaps personal friends, perhaps self-help groups, perhaps family, but definitely outside perspective and outside reinforcement, where there's more of a symmetry in the dynamic. Because with the Seven of Cups, the problem is that you might be a constant. You might be constantly reinforcing your partner or attempting to make a connection with them, but they are being very frugal with their love, with their attention, and their reinforcement. So it creates an asymmetry in the relationship that is very, very hard to exist in, because we operate on systems of reciprocity. And so the Ten of Cups is asking you to definitely seek the company and the support of external social systems. That's your safe haven. That's where you can gain a new perspective and new resources of love, because with the Seven of Cups, your partner makes you believe that they are the only source of positive reinforcement for you. Often they try to communicate to you that you are worthless, that you are no good, and that nobody will reinforce you other than them. Well, that's not true. I'm here to tell you, and the tarot is here to remind you that that's absolutely not true. And reaching out and establishing a connection with a wider social group where you can be exposed to a different kind of love, a different kind of connection from others that can heal you and build you up to the point where you are capable of breaking the cycle of intermittent reinforcement in your relationship and possibly walk away from it. If you have any experiences with this, I encourage you to leave a comment. Perhaps your comment will help somebody else who's struggling with this at the moment. Or you can, just if you want to vent and share your experience, we're here to listen to you. Make sure to check out my website. It's in the description. You'll find the link there. And I hope you enjoy this video. I'll be back soon, in a couple of days. I post new videos every Sunday and every Wednesday. So see you soon. Bye-bye.